I have asked Lynn to open us up in prayer today, so Lynn.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for loving us, Lord, and thank you for your grace. Lord, just help us be peacemakers in our community and in our nation. Lord, help us to be tolerant and show love as you show us. Help us to remember that we don't need to label others because you see us all as the same. And help us not to judge each other, but to be accepting of each other's and accepting of our differences. And Lord, I just ask that you lead and guide us as we make decisions for this community. Lord, those decisions bear on each of us every day, and I just ask that you help us make the right decisions, Lord, and that we would honor you through those decisions. Lord, I thank you for the help of everyone here, especially Don Fisher, Lord, today, and just lead, guide, and direct us in all our lives and in everything we do, and help us reflect your love to others. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody out to our council meeting today. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Motion approved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve minutes from last meeting. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, payment of bills.
I make a motion we ratify the accounts payable.
Okay, we got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, moving right along to our ordinances and resolutions. First on the docket is second reading of ordinance 2017-11, raising sales tax and use tax from 3% to 4%.
I got something I'd like to say before we vote on this. It has been mentioned that our reserve has gone down, and that is correct. It has gone down over the last few years. In 2013, we had 9.4 million, and in 16, we had 7.95 million. So that is showing a decrease, but some of the things that contributed to the decrease, and I'm not going to go over all of this, but in 14, for example, and I've got it going back to 11, we had face mask, I suppose, with the fire department, $140,000. This is some of the larger purchases, $54,000 for a tractor. Airport apron, concrete rehab, $84,000. Peterbilt chassis, $128,000. I suppose that was for, well, that been for a garbage truck or for a fire truck? Garbage truck. Garbage, okay. There's just several things. We had this totaled 1.92 million for that year. In 15, some of the same things. Splash pad, we spent $50,000 on it. Jordan land improvement, we spent $527,000. 911, we spent $173,000. Rear loading chassis, $85,000. And some of the same stuff in 16. We used $200,000 on a paving machine and $200,000 it says for a fire truck. And $100,000 for Dean Road paving project. We also, I know it's not on the list, but we gave $100,000 that year to the school. And all that being said, all the projects that was brought up, that Wade presented, are all, I think, very good projects, be very beneficial to the city, that if we can do all of these projects. But in addition to what Wade brought up, I would also like to see us do Pine Hill subdivision with sewer. Pine Hills doesn't have the sewer in that area, and I would like to see sewer extended on down to Pine Hills. But even that being said, all the expenses and everything are, I checked on the 1 cent sales tax. And the 1 cent sales tax is going up over the last couple of years. From 14, it was $7,889,000. And in 16, it was 8.597 million. It's going up over $300,000 a year. And in addition to that, we have a bond issue that we're paying $758,000 a year on. The payment on the bond issue is $758,000 a year. And that pays off in July, the end of July of next year. So after that pays off, that will free up $758,000 a year. And with our revenue going up the way it is, another $300,000, that'd be over $1 million a year that we would free up, that we would be able to do some extra projects with. And that being said, I have a copy of all this information. If anyone would like to look at it after the meeting or whatever, it'd be available. But I just wanted to throw that out there, kind of justifying why our reserve has gone down.
I appreciate your due diligence on that, Red, but the sad fact is today we've got to borrow $550,000 from ourselves to make payroll and pay the bills we just approved. That's how close we're running. So, anybody wants to look at the numbers, I'm sure we got plenty of numbers put out there. The sad fact is that we're running on margin or below, and we've got to do something. If we want to get by, we can stay where we're at. But if we're going to move forward, we got to do something.
Well, and I feel like that our expenses are going to go up every year, just budgeted stuff. It averages about 3% a year, and that was a bond payment because we had to borrow money because we didn't have it. So I just feel comfortable in making the motion for us to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second to adopt this issue. Is there any discussion, further discussion from the council or anybody in the audience?
I'd just like to say that we spent a lot of money on new equipment that I don't think we'll be buying every year. You know, it should last for a long time. Fire trucks, dozers, paving machines, and that type of thing. I remember what I told the public when I was running right over here next door, and you know, I wouldn't be for a tax increase unless I thought it's absolutely necessary, and I just don't hardly feel like it is right now. So you know, and I've been here a long time, and I've seen it go up and down, and you know, for years. And you know, sometimes you get the cash flow crunch, but you got to quit spending if you do, and that's all I got to say.
Well, I would, in addition to what Johnny said, I'll add to what I've already said. You know, we're not broke. We have over $7 million in reserves, and I would like to see us just kind of wait till next year. Maybe if we're in the same predicament next year, maybe I'd have a different look on it. But next year, we'll get the bond payment paid off, and that is a 96 model bond. And I think it was for a sewer grant, somebody that was around here in 96 might know. But that was what we've been paying on a sewer bond, just 96. It pays off next year.
I was here when they borrowed that money to rebuild the sewer plant that's wearing out again.
I need to speak. I don't think that was funny right now.
Well, we got too many
You just gotta
dollars.
have-
We can talk this to death. I'm ready to vote. I'm sorry.
Well,
Robin,
I think we
Robin?
need,
I just won't put my 2 cents worth in since I should earn the respect. I'm been here 36 years. My mother started a business here in 1947, so here's my perspective on the way it's proposed. You've got Terrapin Hills. They've been complaining and crying since I've been here in 1981. Nobody knows where none of the sewer lines are. We could, if that sewer project that what he's talking about would take that load off, I'm not talking about taking responsibility of the land or the sewer lines, but take the flow off that part of Wills Creek. That would solve one problem. Second problem, you've got 49th Street Pump Station. You've got Dead Man Curve Pump Station. You've got Airport Pump Station. And you've got G&G Pump Station. There's 4 pump stations right there that cost a lot of money. Each one has a generator, okay? That generator is very expensive. Y'all talk about my maintenance parts. Well, one of them generators go down, just a little module can cost $5,000. Okay, the biggest part is you do away with the liability of overspills. When you put in a gravity sewer, from that point, 49th Street would open up businesses and get some of this traffic down here, the crazy parties down here with death trap every day, and maybe bring businesses up to 49th Street or even up to the next exit. As far as that grant, that was a $750,000 grant for the $14 million expansion at the wastewater plant. That plant expansion started in 1998 and makes it over 17 years old. And if you think that equipment can run any longer without being repaired, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I've done all I can do and meet permit standards. They're going to get stringent, more stringent. And when we put pollution in the water, we have to make it cleaner every year. And the state is real strict. And you're already asking us to do the impossible as it is right now. That won't be my problem in a couple of years, but it's going to be somebody's problem. And when you get to theirs, I got news. Y'all may be my boss, but the EPA is y'all's boss. And so is they. That's just the way it is. And that's my opinion. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Jack?
As a business owner in Fort Payne, you know, I've thought about it, and I have a lot of business that comes from Chattanooga and other places cause the 8-cent sales tax. But you know, I can't look at it in that situation as the business that I bring in. I'm looking at the future of Fort Payne. And I'm okay with raising the sales tax, but I think a percentage of that has to be earmarked for the school system. If you don't do it now, you're going to sit here and the next council are going to sit here, we're going to go to 10 cents before we ever say this is what the school system gets. Can any of y'all sit there and tell us what we give to the school system every year? But if we earmark a percent, then the school system can work off that. And I think the school system is in great shape. But, I mean, they're talking about building a new school. And not only that, all the fundraising that everybody gets hit in the city of Fort Payne. And I'm talking about not just individuals that don't have businesses, but I give a lot to every school in the county, every sport up here at the school. And I just don't see how you could not, if you're going to pass the sales tax, some way figure out some kind of percentage earmarked to the school system.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Chad?
So I'm a little new to pick up on all this. Are you saying 1% will raise us 300,000?
No, 1% is.
Or 1 cent, 1 cent, how much will that?
1 cent is projected to bring in 2.8 million a year.
2.8, okay. So I'm not for or against it. Y'all have seen the numbers way better than I have. I would like to hear some things where we have taken a move to actually make cuts, where we have to make cuts. I know, again, I wouldn't want to be in y'all's shoes making this decision, but again, can y'all show us some examples of ways y'all have actually made cuts leading up to this? I understand you said we're 500,000 payroll. I just wondered how we got to this situation while we're just now kind of addressing sales tax. I think there's other ways, but again, 2.8 is a lot, so we may need that, but also, can you tell us some examples of cuts we've made?
Yeah, we cut $1 million out of the budget last year at our first meeting to cut the budget. We asked every department this year to come in at level funding, if possible, with a minimal request for capital. We had 4 departments come in under last year's budget. We had $800,000 in capital last year. We took about $400,000 out of cash reserve to do that. We bought a bulldozer and paid for it out of the highway traffic money. We financed another bulldozer. We made a payment on the fire truck. We got 1 more. We paid some property off at the Jordan property, but we also lost $100,000 a year in revenue off of the building at 49th and Galt, which is now paid for. So we've had offsets. You know, if your revenue's going up 1.6% and your expenses going up 3%, it doesn't take long to figure out how you're going in the hole. That's the bottom line. Money's been taken from cash reserves for 7 straight years to pass a balanced budget, buy equipment, and keep this city going. We can do that about 2 more years, or we can do this now, fix this, stop the bleeding, and start doing something other than get by. That's the bottom line.
You'll see in the mayor's report, I'll just speak from one of my departments, and Greg Conkle's sitting right there, and he probably, you're giving me that look, but we restructured his whole department. We've gone and done those types of things just to make sure we're doing the right things. These aren't decisions we make flippantly. I just can't. I take it too personally. I take my job too personally. But if I personally did not think it's the right thing for the city, there's no way I could do it. No way in the world I could do it. It does affect my business. I'm like Jack, I have a business in town. It does affect my business. But like he said, we have to make decisions based on what's best for the whole, not just for 1 or 2. And I can also say that every person here has worked hard in their departments and done similar things, and the councils before us have done that. They've worked hard, and it's just gotten to the point where we can't do it anymore. We can't squeeze it anymore. And let's vote.
Good. Walter?
I went to UAB and watched my niece receive her white coat. And I thought about our schools and how proud I was to know that our school had taken my niece and brought out the best in her to be able to sit there. Out of 4,000 students, only 199 was chosen. And she was from Fort Payne. So I felt good about our school. I felt good about our city. I'm confident that, one thing, if this sales tax passed, we'll see a new school. However you guys have to work it out, that's what you have to do. But I'm confident we'll do it. The sad thing will be, if we don't do it, we won't see the school. So I hope that we will consider this going forward. There's no more low-hanging fruit. I mean, I sit on there and I watch Andy and Jessica and the whole team try to find everything that they could to get all the low-hanging fruit. There is no more low-hanging fruit. So I understand Red and Johnny, and my hat's off to them. I depend on them if this thing goes through, to be sure and watch it, to be sure that it stretches out over the time that it needs to be stretched out. So I think we're fortunate to have the team that we have right here today. But let's consider all of our children that will go through Fort Payne High School. I am proud of Fort Payne High School. I'm not saying get in there and jump the gun. You know, they may have to wait a little bit. I don't know, whatever it takes to balance it out. But I know one thing. If we don't do it, we won't see the school. So let's keep that in mind as citizens. And like Jack said, as we give, this is our city. This is Fort Payne. We are the county seat. We are the leaders in the county. We should not be worried about if a 1 cent sales tax is going to be something that's going to break us, or if it's going to cause us any political nightmare. But I don't think it is. My hat's off to you guys for your stance that you're taking. I've been with Johnny forever. He's the best painted picture that I've seen yet, and I know if it goes through, he's going to continue to do that job. So let's do it. Hopefully it'll go through, and we will see a school come up there before long. So my hat's off to you guys, for everybody that participates in this. So let's make it happen.
I can tell you from my standpoint, I have prayerfully considered this day, this vote. It's not something that I take lightly. I want to see Fort Payne be the best that Fort Payne can possibly be. I don't have a personal agenda sitting right here in this seat other than to see Fort Payne be the best that it can be. Not here to put a burden on anyone. I want us to move forward. And if that means, you know, a 1 cent sales tax increase to make us go forward, then I'm willing to do whatever it takes, if this passes, to see that this money is spent in the right way. I think everybody up here is looking at the best way to do each and everything. And I've always been taught you got to take care of your own home first before you go taking care of everybody else. I feel like we've got to get the city to where it's going to be. We're not having to borrow money just to make payroll. So that's my 2 cents worth. Any other comments?
Call for a vote.
All right. We are ready to vote. Do a roll call vote. Johnny?
No.
Wade?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Red?
No.
And I will vote yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
So,
I'd like to say that I'm going to work just as hard as I've ever worked to try to watch and make sure that we're spending like we have. I made a promise to the people next door 7 months ago that I wouldn't vote for an increase unless I thought it was absolutely necessary, and I've done my vote. But I will congratulate these three, and we'll work with them just as much as we've always as a team going forward.
I'll echo Johnny's comments. I agree completely that we've all worked together, and I want to like to see us continue to work together. We had a difference in opinion on this, but I think we can come together and carry on, and thank you.
I appreciate the fact that we can all respectfully and properly agree to disagree. And we take care of business, and we're going to take care of business. And we as a group will take care of this city, because that's what we all promise.
there is times, like you said, Wade, that we have to agree to disagree. It doesn't mean that we're not going to work together, because I really believe us five, we can work together. We've seen that since the time that we've been on the council, and I really believe that there are great things ahead for Fort Payne. I really believe that deeply, and I can assure you that we are going to do our best to make sure that Fort Payne is taken care of.
Well, and I appreciate the congratulations, but I don't really view it as necessary, because it's not like a competition. It wasn't something we won. It's just something that we felt was the best for the city, and I look forward to working with everyone, and it's great that we're able to have that climate to work in and be able to respect each other and move forward.
And that wasn't the right word.
And
I take it, thank you.
I encourage everyone to be involved in the city council meetings, to be here, to come get involved in the city and find out. I know a lot of people make comments and they make statements. Maybe they're uninformed and they don't really know. If you've got questions, we are all 5 available anytime. Call us, ask us, we'll come down here and we'll sit down and show you the different things, why we make the decisions that we make. We're all willing to do that, I feel like.
Value your opinion.
Yes, because it's you guys and it's the citizens of Fort Payne that we're actually working for. And we want what's best for everybody as a whole.
It's going to be vital. As we move forward, we're going to be doing a lot of meeting, a lot of planning. We're going to, hopefully in the very near future, hire a consultant to help us develop the plan that we need to do. And it's critical. If you care about your town, get involved in those meetings. They will be very public, and there'll be quite a few of them. They're going to cover everything we need to address in this town. And if you want to get involved, get involved. You're going to have ample opportunity over the next year to see what we're looking at and how we're going to try to go. But we gotta fix the roof here first, and today's the first step in doing it. I appreciate all of you and what you stand for and what you're doing, and we'll move forward in a positive fashion, I'm sure.
Somebody said, good things coming. We got some good things coming.
Yes.
They cost money. We got the Highway 35 project down at the south end. That's going to be about a $5 million project. It's going to cost us $1 million. It's been agreed to that will straighten out Airport Road and create that, get rid of that congestion. The 2 roundabouts off the interstate that's all part of that project. If we can get the sewer system that Robin was talking about up on 49th Street, that opens up that area from sewer. Even up on the 222 exit, sewer's not readily available up there. It takes a pretty good project just to handle that. We've got the Terrapin Hill deal that's eventually something's going to have to be done with that. And I don't know the answer, ADM doesn't know the answer or what have you. But we've got a lot of projects that really need to be done, and they all cost money. You don't get anything free. The Pine Hill subdivision is probably going to be around $800,000 or $900,000, and how much of that we're going to get from the community block grants is unknown at this time. It's not known now whether there's even going to be any or not. We've been in touch with ABM, with the old hospital. It looks promising. We still don't have EPA's approval, so to speak, but hopefully we'll know something in the next month about that. We'll have to pay a portion of that, whatever it is. And there's several projects around town that can be handled through brownfield grants, but they always got matching funds. You got to put matching funds up. And sometimes it's kind of hard. Some of them are 50%, 50-50. It's difficult. But we did that TVA grant down at next to the Ferguson area on a 50-50 basis, and it's paid for now. So hopefully we've got a company in town looking at that today. So maybe something will come out of that. We've got lots of opportunities. I appreciate y'all working together, and I guarantee you we'll spend the money wisely.
Okay, moving right along. Resolution 2017-38, authorizing application for grant monies to replace existing City Hall lighting with LED lights.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
That particular grant, if we get it, will pay for itself in less than 2 years, the entire amount.
Should be a savings of about $60-something hundred a year on savings just on changing the lights out. So I think it's a good project. Hope we get it.
Okay, our continued business, board appointment applications for the DeKalb County Economic Development Authority were taken through August the 11th until 4 p.m. The applicants are Cole Justice, Mike Shirey, and Scotty Bond. I will say that this is not a paid position on this board.
Everybody talk at one time.
Have any nominations?
I'll nominate Mike Shire.
We have a nomination for Mike Shirey.
I'll second.
A second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, new business. Chief Bynum to request closing of 5th Street North from Galt to Godfrey on the Friday before Boom Days. Want to speak to that, Randy?
Sure. You all know we have Boom Days coming up. We'll have a concert over there by the pavilion in that area on Friday afternoon. We're going to plan on shutting the road down around 5 o'clock so the vendors can get set up. I think the show's going to start around 6:30 or so. It's usually closed till about 11 o'clock. There's going to be some vendors there. Some of them have requested maybe to leave some of their stuff in that area. So I'd like to go ahead and just get permission to shut that road down from Galt Avenue to Godfrey for the rest of that night, and then it stays closed till about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock the next day on Saturday. So,
Hours, Randy,
yeah,
again.
we'll shut it down at 5, and we'll have to open it up probably about 11. Instead of opening it up at 11 and just having us to have more manpower and shutting it down again the next morning at 6, just leave it closed. From about 5 p.m. on Friday afternoon to about 11 o'clock Saturday night.
I have a problem with it, I'm gonna make a motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, activity permit. First Baptist Church of Douglas October Festival, the 11th Street Southeast between Godfrey Avenue and Tyler Avenue, Saturday, October the 14th from 11 to 3.
Turner.
Turner.
I'm good with that.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we got surplus equipment. The police department requested a 1985 Chevrolet pickup be declared surplus.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, down to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Well, there's just 2 or 3 things I wanted to mention. We've already talked about the LED light program for City Hall. We're almost complete with our street light program. And at the going rate, it looks like we're saving somewhere around $220,000 a year if I convert to those lights. We still don't have it paid off by any means, but that will be a good help when it does pay off. We like, what, about 3 years? 3 to 4 years having that paid off. We wrote a letter to the railroad. Well, actually, we wrote it to Eberhart, asking that he set a meeting up with us, with someone with the railroad who has the authority to do something. Every time we talk to the railroad, they don't have the authority. We can't do this, we can't do that. And so I got word yesterday that we're waiting on an answer from the railroad. So hopefully we'll get an opportunity to sit down and talk face to face with some folks and say, look, this is what's happening, and how can we fix it? Of course, everybody knows that the Malco station's still on go. We're waiting on them to get their appraisal done, and we'll be back in touch with them. Other than that, I think that's pretty well all right.
Okay. Again, we would like to thank everybody for coming out today to the council meeting. Before we dismiss, anybody got any closing remarks? Questions?
Ryan, I think I know everyone here. I just wanted to introduce myself in case I don't know anyone. I'm Andrew Hairston. I announced Saturday that I'm running for circuit judge, which is being vacated by Judge Cole's retirement next year. That will be the June 5th Republican primary, and I don't have a lot of money to spend. I'm not one of those rich lawyers like you see on TV. I don't carry an Alabama hammer with me or anything like that. So I help out. I'm not like Rocky. I represent real people that need help and don't have a lot of money, and so therefore I don't have a lot of money. But it's something I love to do, and I want to carry that same mentality into the courthouse with me. And so I would appreciate everyone's support here. And if you need anything, just give me a call, or you can look me up on Facebook, since that's the means of communication nowadays. So thank you.
Andrew, we just charged $25 for each one of those announcements. So. Andrew, I ain't a lady.
I'm just glad to see that you're finally running for something and not from something like usual.
Make a motion to go into executive.
Jeremy?
I'm not running for anything yet. My dad served on this council for 3 terms, and I've come to a few meetings, and I've never stood up and said anything. I'm proud of y'all. And I think everybody in our town ought to be proud of y'all. Because exactly what we saw here is the way government should work. At this level, at the county level, state level, at the federal level. You all had a reason for voting the way you did. You looked at it, and you decided how your conscience and what your thoughts about our progress as a city, how it needed to happen. Y'all are not always going to agree, but you certainly did have gone through this process with dignity. We can respect you all. We can respect the leadership in our town, and I'm happy to be a citizen of Fort Payne, regardless of how the vote turned out. Now, I don't have a position on it. Whether you all had voted for it or against it, it didn't matter to me at this point, because I'm just proud that I can live in a place where I can look up to the guys and the women, the men and the women who sit in this room and make these decisions. So I think I'm proud of you. It's a good thing to be able to stand up and tell my dad I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you guys, and I think our citizens ought to be proud of y'all. And whatever's next, however y'all spend the money, whatever, I know I have complete faith in you all. This process has given me more faith in y'all, that y'all have been as dignified and respectful of each other about it as you had. I know you're going to continue that. And so, you know, as a citizen who's going to be paying more money, I'm fine with that. And I'm pleased that it's in y'all's hands. But I think y'all have earned our respect, if you didn't already have it, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Jeremy. Anyone else? All right. We need to go into executive session. Got a motion to go into executive session. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All in favor say aye. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you again for coming.